I'm Andy McKee, and I'm here with Premier Guitar, and this is my Big Five. So I've got a lot of favorite guitars, I think, but right now this is my favorite one. This is my baritone acoustic guitar from Michael Greenfield, and it has a sort of color shifting paint. You can probably see on there a bit. It shifts from purple to green, but there's also some blue and red that comes in, just depending on the angle that hits it. So, but it's a baritone guitar, so it's tuned a fourth lower than standard guitar, so it goes from B to B. And then of course I love to use altered tuning, so I'm always changing that up as well. And this is a C sharp minor 11th chord here. And, so this baritone has a longer scale length because it's tuned lower. So, and then it also has a fan fret neck, and that helps with the intonation of the guitar going up and down the neck, and so it plays more in tune. If you have a longer scale length, the frets need to be spaced out properly for each scale length, and so you can see here the nut is angled, and then the bridge is angled as well down there. So you have a longer scale length on the bass, and then shorter as you get to the treble strings, and then the frets have to be fanned out because of that too, to help with the intonation. So it plays more in tune everywhere on the neck is the idea behind that. And then it also has a bevel here, which is nice for like when you're playing guitar for an hour or two or whatever. And then it also has a bevel actually here on the back side too, you can see. So so that's for comfort as well. And yeah, those are a couple of the cool things about it. This is also sort of a jumbo shaped guitar. I love to use that. When I started getting into fingerstyle guitar, I just kind of gravitated towards the jumbo size, and like the sort of response that it has, and the volume, and the sort of, it feels like to me it has more bass coming out of the guitar too because of that jumbo shape. So that's what I went with. I kind of was into rosewood before I really started to get into having guitars built for me and stuff, but Michael Greenfield, who builds my guitars, he recommended Macassar Ebony, and I've been digging the sound of that ever since. So I have that on my standard guitars. My harp guitar has Koa back and sides on that, and yeah, the tone woods that he selects, he's just a brilliant guy, and he seems to intuit what I want, and so it just seems to work out. When I play live, I've got pickups in my guitars, and I use the K&K Pure Mini, and I became impressed with those pickups probably about 20 years ago. I saw Don Ross playing and Tony McManus, and I thought their guitars sounded great. And I wasn't too aware of like what was all the options out there at the time for pickups. And you know, I had tried piezo pickups that were under the saddle, or sound hole magnetic pickups and things, and they just never really sounded too authentic to me. And when I heard these guys playing with the K&K, I thought, well, that almost sounds like a guitar with a microphone right in front of it, but you still have the freedom to move around. And so I've been using those in my instruments ever since, the K&K Pure Mini. I have two of those in the harp guitar. And then when I play live, I go through a D-Tar Solstice preamp, and I use two of those on the road, and it has two channels. So channel one's standard guitar, channel two is the baritone, and then the second unit is both for the harp guitar. It has two outputs, one for the guitar side, one for the harp side. And that's pretty much my stage setup. I guess my Desert Island album would probably be Aerial Boundaries from Michael Hedges. And I guess that might be obvious because I'm such a big fan. But that album to me is just flawless. I don't know, just I love every track on there, and each track has its own character and story to tell. And I think, you know, a big part of why I play the acoustic guitar and do fingerstyle is the very personal kind of nature of it. And I feel like Michael just really dove in and found some treasures, you know, inside of himself when he started to write this music. And it's so unique, but there's this message and story in all of the tunes that I can just listen to it and not ever get tired of it. There's something crazy about it. I guess my biggest guitar culture pet peeve would be the competitive nature of it sometimes, I think. That was one thing, again, that kind of drew me to the guitar was, you know, my dad tried to get me into sports all the time, and I was like, I just wasn't into it. But the guitar, it was like I could go to my room and just play and practice and learn songs, you know, that I loved. And I just loved the hell out of that. And then sometimes people get, I don't know, when you meet other guitar players and then there's like, oh, he's better than him and who's better than who. And the funny thing is, like with art, which music is, it's almost kind of demeaning to do that, and because everyone has their own voice. If you've spent the time to try to create something, and find something worthwhile to say on the guitar, it really is so far beyond any sort of competition thing. It's like he's going to say something on the guitar that you're not going to hear anywhere else, and that's just the way it is, and or he is or she is, whoever. Everyone's got their own voice, so I think that's the worst part about it that pops up in the guitar culture is this competitive thing, and it's like that just doesn't have anything to do with anything as far as I'm concerned, man. It's everyone's got their own voice and they're trying to express something so that you can connect with them. It's not trying to be better than anyone, and so I tend to dodge those kind of questions or leave the room if it gets into that kind of topic. It's just like I couldn't care less about that. All right. I guess it would probably be Dimebag Darrell. I got into playing the guitar when I was 13, and at that time I had long hair and was just way into Iron Maiden and Metallica and Pantera, and got into Dream Theater when they came out, and definitely the hard rock stuff. But the guy that made me want to play the guitar was Eric Johnson. I heard him playing and I was just amazed, and it's like I got to try to do that, and then I started to learn also rock tunes that I'd already been into for a while. But Pantera was like, I got into them in the 90s, and like sort of 93, 4, somewhere in there maybe, and it was just so hardcore and intense, and the way Phil Anselmo sang, and then, but to me, that whole band is like the brothers, it's kind of like Van Halen. There's just something between the guitar player and the drummer, and the way that Dimebag would write riffs that were just so cool. Like, it was just unbelievable. I used to sit there in my room and try to learn Pantera tunes, back in the day, just because I thought it was so cool. And now doing sort of chilled out, mellow, instrumental fingerstyle guitar, people probably wouldn't guess that, but I still put on Pantera, and Far Beyond Driven. I love that album, or Cowboys from Hell. Just really cool stuff, and yeah, that might surprise some people. I guess my secret weapon might be, oh gosh, I don't know, man. It's hard to not sound like pretentious or something, but I don't know, man. I guess I try to. My whole thing is just to try to write good music and try to make people feel something. I don't care if you're another guitar player. I'd like to actually be able to reach people that don't even play guitar. If you hear my music and you feel something, that's what I want to try to do. So I guess having that as my objective, maybe that's a secret weapon. I don't know. Because there was certainly a time in my life where I was caught up with, you got to get into all the crazy techniques, and you got to, just, keep, be the top guy or something, or where that was more of a focus, I guess, when I was younger. But as I've gotten older, it's just like, I just want to write the best music I can. And I don't care if it's like flashy or, I'm not concerned about impressing people with the techniques at all. Maybe that was something that I thought about more back in the day, but my focus now is really just, I want to write good music that is expressing something inside of me that hopefully you'll connect with, and it'll mean something to you. And when you put it on, it can change your mind, it can make you feel better, that kind of thing, So maybe if that's a secret weapon, maybe that would be mine.